Hi everyone, welcome to Old Lady Reacts. I'm the old lady, otherwise known as Michelle in Minneapolis. I'm a huge movie buff who has seen pretty much everything. I even worked at a video store for a few years, but I somehow skipped over an entire genre of movies. So I created this reaction channel where I react to action and superhero movies that I am viewing for the first time, mostly in order to understand the inside jokes and references in my ultimate viewing of WandaVision. And I just realized that's a really long sentence. I'm going to have to edit that anyway because now WandaVision's next, but I think I need to rewrite my intro. I'm watching all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies in the order in which they were released, and today we interrupt our regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special wrap-up of Phase 3 and show you my ranking of films so far. That's all the films I've reacted to, not just the Marvel movies. If you haven't seen the wrap-up of Phase 2, I will put that link to that somewhere here so you can watch it. But yeah, let's talk about my general thoughts on the MCU through the end of Phase 3. Generally, I'm still amazed at the quality of the stories. There is just something different about the way the MCU is making superhero movies versus other studios. I don't know what it is. I've enjoyed some movies more than others, but these are incredible movies. I just like get the feeling like that they're made with love for the characters and respect for the audience and the fans. And what's great about them is that I feel like they don't kowtow to the audience and what the audience might want based on the fandom that they've experienced. Because there's so many universes, like they couldn't possibly meet everybody's expectations. So they've just said, you know what, we're going to do what we want to do, and we hope you come along with us. And the filmmakers, I think they acknowledge that they're taking the characters in a different direction than what the fans might want. But because they've taken such care to this point, I've been willing to go wherever they've wanted to take the stories. Those of you who are fans of the original comics, let me know if you feel the same. But I feel like it's brought us to a place that is way bigger and way more complicated and interesting in a good way than anything I could have imagined when I started watching the MCU movies. So I'm willing to just kind of go with them wherever they want to go. I like the movies are made with careful attention to current events and the gray areas of morality that come along with that. And they also I feel like they respect the lived experiences and emotional realities of the characters in a way that's super relatable to the audience. Like the characters' reactions to what has happened to them, the consequences of the decisions that they've been forced to make, the loss they've experienced, it's all very carefully attended to and included. And they haven't edited that out in order to make the movie shorter and more full of action scenes, which is where I think a lot of other superhero movies go wrong. The focus here is on the story and fitting the action scenes within the story where it makes sense, instead of using the story as excuses for the action. And that's what gets me emotionally involved in these characters and what happens to them. So let's bring up the ranking and I can show you my thoughts on how the movies stack up against each other, and y'all can shout at me at how wrong I am. And this is everything I've reacted to at this point, not just the MCU. So let's take a look. So after Phase 2, you'll probably remember the bottom tier was blank. Yeah, it is no longer blank. Let me zoom in here. There we go. I'm actively angry about how bad some of these movies are. Mainly because the characters in the stories they already exist. Like they're not coming up with them, from scratch. They're there and they're good. But the movies are just made so badly with such a disrespect for the audience. Like they're just insulting. And I did a little math for you all. This is $660 million of shit. Like these movies are bad and they were a waste of the money. Ugh. So let's talk about the meh category here. In the meh category, you won't be surprised to see the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man sequels. I did not enjoy them much at all. You might be surprised to see that Batman Begins is that low. But I have, because again, these characters exist. The stories already exist. You don't have to worry about coming up with them out of whole cloth. And because of that, I have higher expectations, especially from a more contemporary Batman movie. I want to love a Batman movie. So I'm hoping that the sequel will impress me more. I have a feeling it will. You guys have talked it up quite a bit. Tier 4 and Tier 3 I'm going to do at the same time because, again, I keep moving them back and forth between these two tiers, especially both Guardians movies and both Ant-Man movies. But I'm okay being generous with the MCU movies since they're so kind of integral and worked into this part of this overall narrative. And to me, that gives them a leg up. A standout in this Tier 3 is V for Vendetta. I thought that was just really a good movie and surprising. And then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm really hoping to see more animated superhero movies soon because I think you guys recommended Mask of the Phantasm, so we'll be watching that one. But yeah, I feel like I said in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse reaction video that I would love to see a Marvel or a superhero renaissance like we got, like a Disney princess renaissance. Tier 2, Deadpool 2. What a wonderful sequel. Everything I wanted from having loved the original so much. I don't know how these are so good and the X-Men movies are so bad. It's just beyond my comprehension. The real surprise for me here was Thor Ragnarok. After feeling so blah about the first two, they really took a chance to figure out what to do with the character and how the style that these movies called for. And I'm so looking forward to the upcoming Thor movie. I think it's going to be really great. And I really like Chris Hemsworth with a clean cut look. I think that's much improved rather than like the fake hair. And then top notch. Whoops, delete, there we go. So glad to have John Wick up there. It was such a delightful surprise to see that movie, and I already feel like I want to watch it again. I might go and watch it again. I don't know. I haven't felt like that too much on any of these, mostly because I get to watch it again when I edit them, but I feel like I might want to watch John Wick again. Captain America Civil War is still a standout film for me. The concepts and like the Avengers fighting each other, as well as like them dealing with the consequences of their actions and all of that. You know, I'm not sure if I'm ready to make such a declarative statement like this, but let me say it and see how it feels. Captain America is my favorite Avenger. Yeah, I think I'm okay saying that. I'm still not sure though. I don't know. Jeremy Renner and Hawkeye will always be my boyfriend, but I like Chris Evans a lot, and I think he's a very commanding actor. He's subtle and it's sincere. He has the sincerity that Captain America needs, but then he can face off with Robert Downey Jr. well. There's just something there. He's really amazing in Knives Out. If you guys haven't seen it, I would recommend that you see it. He's so good. And I feel like the Captain America movies as a whole are just a standout in the MCU overall. And maybe we'll see once I watch the Hawkeye series. I reserve the right to change my mind on this issue, but we'll let it lie for this time. And then I put Endgame here, of course, as a film in its own right, but also kind of as a culmination of so many wonderful stories and characters. It was emotional, it was complicated, and for me, I found it to be a really satisfying ending to 10 years of buildup, as well as a springboard for what's coming next. Like they didn't end it. They ended a segment of it while leaving the door open for a lot of really cool stuff to come. So that's my ranking so far. I'll put an Imager link downstairs if you want to take a longer look at it, and I will actually do it this time, unlike after the Phase 2 wrap-up where I said I would, but I forgot and I never did it. Feel free to try to convince me to change my rankings if you want. It probably won't work, but I won't hate you for trying. And I also posted a ranking of my all-time personal favorite movies, not the ones that I've reacted to on this channel, but I thought it'd be interesting in case you're looking for recommendations or to get a sense of what kind of movies I like in real life outside of YouTube. So you can make some comparisons and judgment calls that way. And if you watched this far, I really just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has watched and subscribed, giving me their feedback, sent me recommendations and informations and inside details and all that. I love reading all of it. I really appreciate you all as I'm trying to continue to grow my channel. My next step is to get monetized, and we're very close to that. So it just needs a couple more subscribers and we should be good to go. I'm also really glad to count myself now as an MCU fan. I think this is a really fun group of fans to be involved with, and you guys have told me so much wonderful information. So yeah, I'm really hoping to catch up in the next few minutes so that I can actually see some of the shows and movies in the theater along with you guys. But first, WandaVision! Yay, I'm so excited. But I'm also trying not to have like unrealistic, super high expectations or anything. I mean, I don't want to go in expecting it to not meet my expectations. So in the meantime, here's a tweet I found hilarious and I wanted to share with you guys because I know you'll appreciate it. Hey, if you're planning on seeing Doctor Strange this weekend, please read this first. I saw Doctor Strange today, but it turns out he's out of network, so my insurance isn't going to cover it, and what I thought was going to be a $12 ticket ended up costing me $14,605. Thanks for watching with me.